There's something interesting about like their use case or like their reaction to a new feature, and like now it's like half that and half what the model did in that situation. You're like, oh, it did the right thing. This is great. So there's like this like very like almost like a sense of pride maybe of like when it reacts well and you're like in a user research environment, and then like also the like frustration. You're like, oh no, you misunderstood the intent, and now you're like 10 pages down into this answer. And so like it's also like maybe a little getting zen about like letting go of control and what's going to happen in those environments.
Yeah.
You have both worked on these consumer experiences that taught new behaviors to many hundreds of millions of people quickly. These AI products are happening actually faster than that, right? And if PMs and technical people don't have that much intuition naturally for how to use them, how do you think about educating end users at the scale you're both working with on something that is so unintuitive?
I mean, it is kind of amazing how fast we all adapt. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were telling me about their first Waymo ride. Who's ridden in a Waymo?
Who rode one here?
Yeah. If you haven't ridden in a Waymo, you're in San Francisco, ride a Waymo to wherever you're going when you leave here. It's a magical experience. But they were like, my first 30 seconds, I was like, oh my God, watch out for that bicyclist. Right. And then 5 minutes in, it was like, oh my God, I'm living in the future. And then 10 minutes later, it was like bored, scrolling on your phone. Like,
Yeah.
How quickly we become used to something that is just absolute magic.
Yeah.
And I think ChatGPT is less than 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it was absolutely mind-blowing when it existed, or when it first came. And now I think if we had to go back and use the original, whatever it was, GPT 3.5, I think.
The horror, yeah.
Yeah, like, no, everybody would be like, ugh.
So dumb. Yeah.
How could I possibly, And the stuff that's happening today that we're working on, that you guys are working on, it all feels like magic. 12 months from now, we're going to be like, can you believe we used that garbage? Because that's how fast this thing is moving. But it's also amazing to me how quickly people adapt. Because, as much as we try and bring people along, like there are also there's a lot of excitement. People understand that this is like the world is moving in this direction, and we've got to try and make it the best possible move that we can. But it's happening, and it's happening fast.